now go to Senatrice Poirier.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Chair. My first question is for Ms. Granger. The province of Quebec and Manitoba as well have decided to allow home growing, and we've heard at this committee that other provinces say they're having a hard time or they're having concerns about this. In your opinion, should home growing be banned throughout Canada? What's your position on this? Our association, in its presentation, did not pronounce a ban on this. So that's one thing. It's difficult for us to make an opinion on that topic. Canada has adopted a position as well as the provinces, and then everyone will have to evaluate the impact of these regulations. So right now, I would say that's my opinion on that.
Question is for Mr. Colbert. In your presentation, Mr. Colbert, on the last page, page 4, in the first full paragraph, you mentioned in there when we were talking about the cultivation, you mentioned as such there is a precedent that could make the prohibition of the cannabis cultivation susceptible to court challenges. Yet in the law, we gave the permission to the provinces to be able to regulate the age. Here we have two provinces in Canada, Manitoba and Quebec, who have put in legislation, provincial legislation, prohibiting the growing of the plants at the homes. But yet here you talk about court challenges. So I'd like to hear you more on your comments here and how you feel where the court challenges would be on that.
I think in Quebec and Manitoba, they're likely susceptible to court challenges. But the federal law won't be. Like, we have a precedent set that you can grow a psychoactive substance. Tobacco is a psychoactive substance. You can brew alcohol, a psychoactive substance, in your own home. There's no, and then under the medical regime, the BC Superior Court has been very clear that there should be no prohibition on home grow for medical purposes. So if the legal logic is that if it then becomes legal to use it for non-medicinal purposes, the ability to have a home grow. Once again, I would prefer if Canadians couldn't grow tobacco, brew alcohol, or grow cannabis in their homes. Don't get me wrong, but let's be practical about it. I wish they also didn't consume these products for their own health, but we need to be practical. So that's where we stand on that.
Okay. Yeah. Does time permit me, or am I out?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
My question is for Dr. De Villa in Toronto. Just again, it's on the home growing issue again. I know from my community and from the communities in New Brunswick, and we also heard it from other communities across Canada when we had the municipalities and that were in here. Some of the challenge they seem to be facing or fearing with the homegrown cannabis. I'm just wondering, a city as big as Toronto, do you have views on the cultivation as a safe approach to public health? What are you hearing out there? What can you share with us on that?
Well, thank you very much for the question. I can certainly tell you that our partners within our municipality, our other city divisions, particularly those who are responsible for enforcement of local bylaws and standards, have some concerns absolutely about that. As you can well imagine, within the context of a large city, enforcement becomes and monitoring becomes part of the concern. I don't know that all the answers have made their way forward. I think there's still lots of conversation and consideration, and I'm going to turn it to my colleague as she's been a little bit closer to some of those discussions with our partners in the municipality.
Thank you. We have also, I know since it's the provincial jurisdiction, we've been asking the province to consult with us in any forthcoming regulations so that there are standards for safety and other means to ensure that home growing doesn't become something that we have seen in the past in terms of grow operations, cannabis. And that has been the experience, but you cannot extrapolate the issues that came up with that, with home growing of full plants, if that's going to be the limit in Ontario. Still not sure. So we are open to discussions to see how it can be done safely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. On to